Greetings, salutations, and hello! Welcome back to whatever this is. Today we're going to have a cafecito with me. Yes. All right, so I'm going to try to record my audio through these headphones. So let me know if that is better or worse than what we have had. Yeah. Okay, so what are we going to talk about today? You might be wondering. Well, based by the title, you'll know that I'm going to talk about some extra natural, supernatural encounters or possibly ghostly things. I have 4 stories. 3 of them are mine, and one is one of my friends. And I will share her story because it's kind of fun. So let's begin. So these are my scary supernatural stories from Humboldt State, which is my alma mater. So go Lumberjacks. Oh gosh, my teeth look awful, but I'm also drinking coffee, so ooh, don't look at them. But you know what? I don't care. I don't care. Right, focus. Okay, so first story first. I was an RA, well, CA, but RA is what other universities know it as, which meant that we were some of the first people that get our buildings when we're assigned. The way that it worked where I was at, it was 1 CA or RA per building, and we were assigned that building earlier than most students came in. So some buildings were pretty much empty up until it was time for the students to come in. So we would have a couple of weeks of just empty building, and maybe this had something to do with like the building being old or it's settling or whatever. But I swear to you, you would always hear like footsteps up and down the halls when they were empty. And like this wasn't time where people were doing rounds or whatever. Like I would remember being in my room chilling, and I would hear like footsteps up and down the halls. So that was already like, this is a creepy campus. This is the vibe that you get. So this happens a lot, okay? A lot of people would tell you that you see, well, not most people have seen, but me personally, just hear. I would hear, and I would think, oh, maybe something's in the building, maybe someone's not in the building. So that might be explainable, but let's move to the next one. In that same building, there was a night where I came home after some a shindig, if you will. I was in a single room, which meant I didn't have any roommates. It was just me, myself, and I, and my demons. No. Anyways, so I get to my room. I get into my PJs and I go up my little bunk bed because my bed was lifted. So as I'm in bed, keep in mind, I'm may or may not have been a smidgen buzzed. Not like slosh, but a little bit. And I crawl into my bed, and I'm very much awake though. I'm pretty awake, I'm pretty aware. And I crawl into my bed, and as I'm like, I just crawled in, so I'm not sleepy by any means. I'm still awake. I feel like something's also going on my bed. Like you feel the movement on the mattress, like the weight, and then I could just feel something kind of like get on top of me, kind of like a weight, like something was kind of getting on top of me like this, and I could hear like them like here, like when I have hair, so like when someone just kind of touches you feel, so I felt the like I could almost hear like the breathing. It was creepy, okay? um but I was so I was so tired. um I was just like, you know what, whatever, it's already here, whatever this entity is. And then I just kind of like said screw it, and and just closed my eyes. And I don't remember how long I was feeling that for, but I knocked out. I was like, I'm not even gonna acknowledge it. So that was in that same building. That was something that happened. Super creepy. Um, oh, okay. So that was that building. Where was another one? I've had a couple of stories from those buildings, but one of them was at, well, like I mentioned earlier, uh, when you move into the building as an RA, as a CA, you're in those buildings alone. And one of another RA, and this was a couple years back. Ooh, this wasn't me, but this is the story they told me, and I believe them. I don't know if you are familiar with how residence halls are set up, but a lot of them have these have a like a shared bathroom. We have 3 floors, and each floor has a bathroom because the floors are they're not oh my god, I'm gonna edit this because I can't remember. um they're not oh my gosh, the floors are separated by gender. I can't remember the name for it. Oh my gosh. Okay, anyways, floors are separated. um so each floor has its own bathroom. And in this area you have to key in to go into the hallway. You have to key in to the restroom. So people can't just willy-nilly go in. You have to key in all the time, which is in a way safe, but in another way annoying if you really have to go and you're like, where the hell's my key? You know. Okay, so um this person that was in the building by themselves, an RA, they got up in the middle of the night. They had an empty building. No one had moved into their building yet, okay? And they go into the bathroom and they hear sobbing. They hear crying, like someone's crying. And they thought, oh, like, do I have a resident? Has a resident moved in? And they hear crying. They go to the stall, and then they like try to push, and there was no one. There was no one. But they heard the crying. And then they noped the hell out of there. It just went. They're like, I didn't even have to pee anymore. No, I won't even brush my teeth. Bye. Yeah, those places could be really creepy. So those are a couple stories from that particular area. The canyon, if you're curious, if you're at HSU, the canyon. What buildings? I was in Cedar, but that was in Tan Oak. Yeah. For everyone that is not familiar with the layout of HSU, Google it. Just kidding. But I mean, it's not super important, I guess, to the story. So, one more story that happened to me. So this one's a little like, let me give you some background where I was at. There is an area that's a set of living quarters that's called campus apartments, and that is mostly for older students and transfers. College Creek and campus apartments, they're like for not first years. So Canyon is freshman, Sunset, freshman. but campus apartments, they're not. So, fun thing there. The room we were in was my friend's single room, who shall remain nameless because I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to give people's information out. Um, that we're not in speaking terms anymore. Okay, so this friend had their own encounters in that room, and by that they would have like a corner of the room that was dark, and there's like a time where they woke up by someone screaming their name, and then but like they don't have roommates, you know, their roommates. It wasn't like, oh, someone's calling me from outside. No, it was like inside the room. And they always had like an area that was like a dark area in their room. They always felt like there was a weird presence. So that apartment, that room, is where I had a weird kind of thing. And again, all of these could be probably explained. So you could explain maybe the phenomena, but at that time it felt like yeah, but I'm not an expert. So we were dyeing my hair. It was friend A, friend B, and myself. And I should give them names. Okay. We are gonna say Snorlax and Gengar. Snorlax and Gengar and myself were in we were dyeing my hair, and it's kind of late. We always stayed up and had shenanigans or whatever. So Snorlax and Gengar were waiting. They were like cooking something in the kitchen. I don't remember what. And I had bleach in my hair, and I had to go pee. So I go into the little bathroom because this area does not have shared bathrooms. Each little apartment has their own bathroom. So I go to the bathroom, lock the door, and do my thing, and I'm washing my hands, whatever. And I try to go out, and I feel that the door, like I know I unlocked it. Like I've been in this place many times before. I know how to lock it and unlock it. But it felt like someone was holding the knob. Like someone was like, and I was like, seriously, Gengar? Seriously, Snorlax? Seriously? So I was like, meh. I was fighting with it for like a minute. It felt almost like they were kind of like not letting me open. Like that's how it felt. Like I felt a struggle. Like I was struggling with someone. And then finally I managed to get the door open, and I'm like, what the hell? Like I'm angry. I'm coming out. I'm like, what the hell? And yeah, they weren't in front of the door. They weren't there. They were in the kitchen. And you might be thinking, well, couldn't they have just run away? No, because Gengar, Snorlax, and myself are heavy boys. We're heavy boyos. And those, if you know campus apartments, you know that creak, 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 you hear most things, most movement. So if they would have ran, I would have heard it. And the only way I would have is if they very slowly moonwalked away. But then I wouldn't have been able to fight the door, like make it make sense. So I like go into the kitchen and I'm like, what the hell, guys? Y'all, why? And they're like, what are you talking about? And I was like, the door, weren't you? No, that was not us. They were very confused. Their faces were like, huh. But Gengar believed me because Gengar was like, oh, by the way, this has happened to me in this apartment. And I was like, cool, 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 cool. So yeah, that was that. And now like I promised, the last story. Um, so this one happened to my good friend. Um, I just don't want to use her name because again, um, I didn't ask. Uh, but hey, friend, if you're watching this, love you. Okay, so this friend, totally trust them 1000%. They told me the story, and we called it the bloop bloop incident, which sounds silly, but it was terrifying for me to hear. I was so when you work as an RA or as an RSSA, you have to do these things called rounds. At least that was the case when I worked there, but that was also a minute ago. Uh, Basically, you walk around the parameter of all of the different housing buildings. And you just kind of make sure things are locked and it's good and nothing nefarious is going on. Okay, so beep, 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 walk around. And some of this is, I mean, it's a dark campus. It's pretty empty at night. These are, I think the first rounds are done around 5, and then the second rounds are done at like around 10-ish, or a little before you have to be in. Anyways, they're late. It's dark, poorly lit. Sometimes these are kind of empty, especially during breaks. And I believe this happened during fall break, like the November fall break. You get the week. And I might be a little wrong on the date, but I know that it was during a break because she told me that it was pretty empty, like very empty. And it was at night, and she was driving. She drove, she parked right next to like Sunset, and she was in her car, and she saw um, like a figure. She saw these like figures, like she was gonna move her car back, and she saw these figures kind of blocking her way. And at first she thought they were like students or something, because you kind of can't make them out. But like the closer she got, she was like, "Oh, these do not look. They look like it was kind of like a silhouette." I think the way that she described them was kind of like a mix between like a shadow person and a tall gray. Which, if you know me, that gives me the heebies. Gosh, I just got like chills. I'm gonna take a little coffee break. And they kind of move like, I don't know, like I can't do it. Like really like flowy, like not real, like kind of like an ethereal kind of wiggle. And I don't know why that. And then like they kind of like went into like the bushes, and then they kind of like would peek out, and I don't know for how long this, like, I don't remember, this kind of like dance of like, am I gonna go, am I not gonna go, and then they just kind of like booked it to their to their room. Yeah, gosh, and she was like, oh, bloop bloops. They just kind of look like, I was like, dude, that's terrifying. Yeah. So it was funny because when she told me this, I think I was at the desk. I told her, "Oh my gosh, I cannot." Um, yeah. So now after that story, every time I did rounds, I would be like, and you don't do them by yourself; you do them with a partner. But still, walking late at night on my campus, like even it's it can give you the heebies. It's such a dark, creepy campus. When I worked there, I would get off at 1 a.m. if it was a weekday and 2 a.m. if it was a weekend. So, yeah, dark, creepy campus. I think, oh, I do have one more story. last story, bonus story. Um, there is a park off campus, like a small little, and me, uh, Gengar, Snorlax, and I know there was another person. Um, I just can't recall exactly who, but I do remember we were kind of goofing around. It was late at night. They're kind of goofing around this park, and this wasn't on campus, but it happened in Arcata, and we were kind of playing in the playground because that's what 20-year-olds do at night. And there was like a wind, and then we started hearing footsteps. But the thing is that you could see, like, there was, how to put it? It's not like there were a lot of bushes or a lot of grass or whatever. Like, you can, the ground was like crunchy ground, and we could hear the footsteps approaching, but we couldn't see anything. And then we just kind of like stopped what we were doing because we could hear something coming, but we couldn't see it. And it's scary. And we just ran away. We booked it. um, and we just couldn't really explain where the footsteps were coming from. They were like disembodied footsteps. And was it a ghost? Maybe not. Maybe it was a person. Maybe we just couldn't see. Keep in mind, like, these are kind of like wooded areas. And I don't think I'm superstitious, but you get me in the right mindset, I'll freak out. So yeah, these are just kind of like little encounters, little ghostly tales. Um, there is definitely something eerie about HSU in the like supernatural kind of sense, which I totally can see because like it's just like its location, the history of Arcata, the land that they're occupying. Um, I'm sure that like there's something, um, but I can't say what. Um, yeah, let me know. Did you go to HSU? Did you have any fun stories? Yeah, I know I had friends that would hear things, or not a lot of people saw things, but a lot of people heard things. Or just got like a weird vibe from walking the campus at night. I mean, don't get me wrong, I loved it, but also. So let me know, did you have any fun experiences? Or are these really tame compared to what happened to you? Or are these more like, ooh, compared to something? Did any of you see anything like the bloop bloops that my friend described? Um, yeah, let me know. I'm curious. And thank you so much for having cafecito with me. Um, if you like this video, give it a like. Uh, Maybe subscribe, just to be doing it. Let me know down below what you think. And later, Gator. Ain't a wild crocodile. Peace in the Middle East. You're a poet. You just don't know it. And that's it. Bye.